Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode 38 of the Bourbon Hang. It's a new year, 2025. I hope you guys had a wonderful holiday season. Always, if you guys can hear me okay, let me know. I already see some people hopping into the chat. What's up, Brian? Cheers, buddy. What's up, Chad? Cheers, man. Hope you guys are doing well tonight. It's good to finally be back. It was wonderful holiday season and just took a little bit of time off of the channel, spent lots of time with family and just had a wonderful time. My daughter came back from North Carolina and my other daughter was home from U of I for actually she moves back into the dorms tomorrow. So yeah, it's been a great break and I'm glad to be back with you guys. I was on Power of Bourbon last night. We had a wonderful time. I helped them pick their bourbon of the year. And actually I thought I was a little off of my bourbon game, especially in blind flights, but I bottle guessed what won and I hadn't even had it. So their bourbon of the year is really cool. If you guys aren't subscribed to Power of Bourbon, check them out. Great guys. They're about to hit 2,000 subs. So anytime we can help channels out here, we love to do that. But they're friends of this channel. So it's really cool. It's three guys and they each do submissions. I think they each do maybe 10 submissions from what the best thing they tasted all year was. And then they all taste them blind and rank them and then come down to their, final 10 or whatever it is. And then me, Ed Sturgar last night, tasted 3 to crown theirs. And it was Baker's Single Barrel, the high rye, the new high rye that came out. Really good, interesting bottle. I'd never had it before. And through the tasting, I picked up the nuttiness. It was throwing me off a little bit because there were also some like spearmint notes that I get in ryes typically, but it didn't taste like a rye. I mean, it made perfect sense before we did the reveal. It kind of clicked. I was like, oh, I bet this is Baker's high rye. And a great bottle that I had never had. So it was a really fun night. So check them out if you haven't. Tonight we're doing a flight submitted by Robert Shea. So he's got the answer key here for me. As you can see, it's sealed. I have not looked in here. Again, I thought tonight I would really be rusty. But I don't know. I was kind of on my game last night for not drinking that much lately. I think if Robert's in the house, yeah, Robert's here. What's up, buddy? I'll say hey to all you guys too. But Robert, let me know. So what I've got here, he sent me 5 samples. I was going to guess age, proof, type, state, and bottle guess if I had any. If that sounds good, let me know. And if there's anything else or a theme or anything like that, let me know. Daniel says it sounds good. What's up, Daniel? Cheers, buddy. Hope you're doing well, man. Happy New Year. There's Robert. Cheers, bud. I'm sure I'm going to enjoy the blind. I've got them all poured and they look pretty dark, man. So I don't know, what you sent me, but it looks good so far. Gary Botchman. What's up, Gary? Cheers, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Jeremy Banks is in the house. Jeremy, I saw you on Bruzel's channel, man. I was like, I know that guy. That was pretty cool. Okay, Robert says there is a theme. I'll have to figure it out at the end. All right, we'll see. I'm not promising anything, man. I feel like I might look kind of silly tonight, but we'll see. And I have no clue what's in Robert's collection or anything, so no idea what we're up for tonight. Tonight's agenda, I'll just kind of tell you guys. We're gonna let me pour this first. I got to do a warm-up pour before I get into this, and this is the first Whiskey Tornado pick. It's a Heaven Hill bottled and bond. We don't have it yet, but it's coming in. So if you're in Patreon, you can grab one of those when they come out. So, and speaking of that, let me real quick. We had a few new Patreon members over the holidays. Let me just give them a quick shout out, guys. So cheers to all you guys. Kendall, I got to meet Kendall at a U of I basketball game. That was really cool. We were watching the game and Kendall ran up and said, "Hey, I watch your channel." And so that was cool to get to meet Kendall. And he's local, so and he's a U of I ticket holder. So we're gonna have to share some pours soon, Kendall, if you're watching this. So let's see. Robert Shea said, "Bring on the Heaven Hill bottled and bond." Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh man, it smells so good. So good. That's first whiskey or first pour I've had today. So I gotta tell you too, man, I was out of practice on Power Bourbon last night, and we didn't even have that much, but I woke up not feeling the greatest today. So we're gonna take it easy tonight. Man, you guys are gonna love that pick. It is so good. We've also got I'll show you the sticker. I'll show you guys a sticker for it real quick. If I can find it. Let's see. This is the this will be the Heaven and Hill Nutter My Butter. And then also this year we have Larceny Barrel Proof coming out. That one we call the Nutcracker. We're going to try to do probably 4 to 6 picks through Whiskey Tornado this year. And obviously our Patreon members, we're going to try to get some of you guys on those picks as well, because just like in Barrels for Hope, our charity organization, we want to help fulfill bucket list items for people that may not get the opportunity to go on picks. And I want to get you guys all on picks. So if we can get all our Patreon members on picks, that's fantastic. So while I warm up here, let's talk about the winners, 2024 winners. And also if you guys had tell me what was your best in each of these categories for the year. I'd love to hear what you guys think, because I can only taste so much. And I love to hear what you guys think. So let's see. Our rye of the year, let's start with that. The best rye of the year was Hard Truth Distillers Blend. Ed helped me select this. I had narrowed it down through tasting a bunch of stuff. But the Distillers Blend was a blend of their caramel malted rye, chocolate malted rye, and malted rye. And this thing, blind in a flight of fantastic ryes, just blew us away. It has these really crazy dark chocolate brownie notes to it. But it's not as chocolatey as the chocolate malted rye. It's got a little bit of espresso bean, some caramel. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And I think the thing that made me and Ed select that was how unique it was for not being finished. So none of the ryes in the flight were finished. And just to get those flavors out of something that's not finished, and then, put it on a newer distillery. I think Hard Truth started in I think they started distilling in 2016. And you guys know, if you've been watching this channel, I am a huge fan of Hard Truth and everything Brian Smith touches. He's a wizard. He's so good at what he does. And so to see that revealed as the best rye of 2024, I was super ecstatic. It narrowly beat out Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof, which, that's arguably one of the best values on the shelf right now. And you're starting to see them more and more. But for $65-$70, the Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Proof rye, just absolutely phenomenal. So I don't know what you guys thought. What was your favorite rye of 2024? I'd love to hear. Let's see. Chad says, thoughts on the Four Roses single barrel separate recipe offering. Haven't yet. Excited for it. I haven't had any yet. I'm super excited for them. I mean, I think it's 100 proof, but $50, $55. So anytime, especially in these days where you can get a bourbon reasonably priced, I'm all about it. And to taste each of those recipes at 100 proof would be really cool. I've been on several Four Roses barrel picks where I've got to taste all of them at cash strength. But I mean, all Four Roses stuff is just so good. So I have no doubt they're going to be good. I think if I remember correctly, though, they might only be releasing like 3 or 4 recipes a year, and then they'll go to the next year and they'll have 3 or 4. So if you want the whole lineup, don't miss those. Try to grab them all the ones that come out in that year. I might be wrong about that, but Rizzle D, what's up, dude? Cheers, man. I've never seen your name, so welcome to the live stream. I have not tried anything from 15 Stars. I hear it's good. The thing about 15 Stars is the price. That stuff's a little pricey, man. But I would love to try some. Robert Shea, my rye of the year was M10 rye. I was lucky enough to get a hold of one, and it was dynamite. Yeah, man, M10 rye is so good. So good. It really is. This Heaven Hill Bottle and Bond, you guys are going to love it, man. Rizzy D said, I think he's saying he agrees with Robert. All right, let's see what else. Okay. Then we did, Ed and I did our finished whiskey of the year. Now, again, there's a ton of finished stuff. And I never put finished bourbons in with our bourbon of the year because I just don't think it's fair. I think distilling bourbon just with grain and in a new American oak barrel, not finishing it is an art form. And I like for all distilleries and all bottles and barrels to be on the same playing field. So I don't put finished stuff in our bourbon of the year, but I do award a finished whiskey of the year. Basically, the runner-up was Barrel Craft Spirits Mizunara. If you guys haven't had that, you should look for it. You can probably still find those $80, $85, which might seem a little high, but when you consider what other bottles, barrels finished in Mizunara are going for, I mean, some of them, I think Starlight and maybe Rabbit Hole, I think their Mizunara is 150. So, I mean, this is almost half of that. And it held up really good in the blind and was just fantastic. But our overall winner for finished whiskey of the year was, it was a single barrel that I picked, or that we picked with Barrels for Hope. And I almost didn't put our own picks in there, but then, I knew they were going to hold up. And I thought, if anything, even though you're not going to be able to find single barrels, it will alert you guys to maybe some distilleries out there that you haven't tried or that you don't know anything about. And you'll see, oh, well, I know there's some good picks out there. I'm going to give them a try, or try a pour in a bar. And our finished whiskey of the year was the Barrels for Hope Dark Arts bourbon, finished in Oloroso sherry casks. This was a 7-year MGP unique mash bill. I think the mash bill was 51% corn and 49% malted rye. And then it was finished in Oloroso sherry. And when we were on the pick at Dark Arts, Macaulay had brought out a single barrel that was the 51% corn, 49% malted rye that blew us away, that was not finished. And this was after we had tried like 14 barrels. And he said, well, if you like that, I have that same mash bill finished in Oloroso sherry. And we were like, yeah, man, bring that out. And just blew us away. And we actually bought 2 barrels that day. We bought the Dark Arts, and then we bought we bought the Oloroso, and then we bought one finished in white port. Both fantastic. In fact, at the pick, I preferred the white port, but as time's gone on and I've sipped more of that bottle, the Oloroso sherry was winning for me. And Ed and I fell in love with it in the blind as well. So it just blew everything out of the water. It was so good. Our our store pick, the best store pick of the year that I tasted. And again, we have a lot of people that watch the channel that are local to me. So if you're not local, I apologize, but it's, A1 is our partner, Narav and all those folks at A1, are what makes this channel go. They're such a good partner that we have. They're always there for us. They help with Barrels for Hope. And we were able to donate 40,000 to charity last year, but they also do amazing picks. Daniel, who's in the comments, he helps on a lot of their picks. And my favorite single barrel that I tasted last year from all the single barrels I picked, and I thought it was the best value, was the A1 Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, the lower proof. I think this was like 130 maybe. They also did 132 proof. But again, you guys might not be able to get this, but again, put it on your radar. If you're not buying Jack Daniel's single barrel proof or picks of that, you should definitely be grabbing those, because I would argue, we talked about this on Power Bourbon last night, that it is the best value in bourbon. I've never had a bad one. And some people think Elijah Craig barrel proof is, and it might be, but I've had some Elijah Craig barrel proof, batches that I wasn't crazy about. I've never had a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof that I didn't love. In fact, in Power Bourbon's flight last night, my second favorite thing I drank was a Jack Daniel's single barrel proof. So that was value of the year. That was the best value, because I think it was like, I don't know, 60, 65 bucks. Just fantastic. The best single barrel that we tasted was from Barrels for Hope, and it was Nashville Barrel Company. Now, again, a lot of you guys are going to be like, whatever, your own picks are your favorite. And yeah, they're probably my favorite because I helped pick them, and my palate's kind of geared that way. But I would tell you guys, if Nashville Barrel Company isn't on your radar, and I've been saying this for 3 years, you need to put them on the radar. They are doing some magical stuff with MGP. It is like BTAC level good. It is so crazy what they are doing. And some of the picks we did 3 picks with Barrels for Hope, but 2 of them, we did a 7 and 8 year, are just out of this world good. If you like, dark, rich, almost rummy notes with tobacco, and that is my jam, and they are really, really good. Best shelfer. This is what everybody wants to know. What was the best thing that you actually found on a shelf? And what ranked highest for us in our blind was the Bardstown Discovery 12. And it placed 3rd in our bourbon of the year. Just really, really good. And I was concerned this wasn't going to hold up in a flight, because it's a little more delicate of a whiskey against some of those big proofy bombs. And what I was surprised about is when you put Disco 12 in a flight with Russell's 15 and Elijah Craig barrel proof and all these other major hitters, the youth actually shined through. You could taste a little bit of the grain that if you have it on your own on a first pour, you're not going to pick up on it. But when you had it in the flight, we all agreed, you could start to pick up a little bit of grain. Not that it was bad in any way. Don't get me wrong. It still finished 3rd amongst everything that I tasted. But that was my favorite bottle that I found on the shelf in 2024. So I'm going to catch up on your comments here, because I'm interested to see what you guys have to say. Let's see. Brian Rasky says, is Woodford Double Oaked worth $199? I've heard and read that it's really good, but I'm not paying it. And we'll get into that. I'm going to talk about my 2025 whiskey goals, if you will. And I'd love to hear your guys's too, if you have any, but we'll talk about those when we're going through Robert's flight here. Robert Shea said Pursuit Double Oaked Rye was a pleasant surprise. 100%, Robert. And Pursuit Double Oaked Rye was in our finished flight. And while it was good, actually the youth kind of shined in that flight as well. Ed and I were picking up some youth, but it was the best nose in the flight by far. Jeremy said going to A1 Sunday to scoop up some bottles. Can't wait to try our Knob Creek picks. Oh, nice, man. The Knob Creek picks we did are fantastic. The ones like Knob 12 on steroids, dude. And then, yeah, Jeremy, Green River came in, and that we're releasing that on the 25th. Chad Gazinski says that barrel Mizunara is so damn good. Yeah, it is. It really is. Glenal's in the house. What's up, dude? Happy New Year, man. I hope you're doing well. Such a good guy. Robert Shea, I got a Russell store pick from Kroger, picked by Bruce Russell, and it was great. Oh, yeah. I mean, can't go wrong with those either. Warehouse G, 60 for $65. Nice, nice. Little old fashioned in the house. Cheers. I've never seen you in chat either. Welcome, man. Brian Rasky, Knob Creek store picks are good value too. Yeah, they really are. They're fantastic. Oh man, this Heaven Hill bottle and bond. It gets better and better, man. It was on floor 7, by the way. Floor 7. Chad, the Jack Daniel's single barrel proof, both bourbon and rye are basically unbeatable, especially for the money. There's some newer batch releases out, coming out of Warehouse 8 Coy Hill. Oh, nice, man. I'll be on the lookout for that. My camera is like not focusing on me. Robert Shea, that Barrels for Hope NBC pick got killed at a bottle share. Oh no, so many great bottles on the table, and that was killed first. Yeah, man. Yeah, it's so good. It's ridiculous. And nobody believes me. Nobody believes me. Even when A1 did a couple Nashville barrel picks, this was like 2 years ago. And I was telling people in Rusty Water Society that that they're just sitting on A1 shelves and that people are crazy because it's the best pick that A1's probably done that year. And they still sat, man. Nobody believed me how good they were. I think they're all gone now, but John Russell, cheers, man. Just snagged an 8-year single barrel cash strength straight rye from NBC today. Oh, hell yeah. Nice, man. Bourbon Hunter, what's up? Cheers, buddy. Cheers, man. Oh, Daniel, are you serious? Yeah, Titan's Pipe 1 and 2. Are you saying it's still at A1? Because that's insane. If you guys are at A1 for anything, you got to grab those. They're so good. I have all of them back there. They're so good. All right, man. All right. Oh, they're not there. Okay. I was going to say, if those are still there, that's crazy. All right. Let's get into this flight. And we'll talk whiskey goals while we're doing it. Oh, John Russell said Titans pick at A1 was still there 3 weeks ago. That's so crazy. That's so crazy. All right. Let's see. We're going to start here with A and talk about our whiskey goals while we do this flight. Oh my gosh, man. Robert's starting me off good. Whew. Man. That is rich. She is rich. Mike B, cheers. Clink, clink. Robert Shea, welcome to the Thunderdome. All right, let's see. Cheers, everybody. Hope you guys are having a great night. Holy moly. Oh, man. That the first one, on first sip, man, it was so rich. It seems like it's a little Brown Foreman ish, and I don't know if that's just because we were talking about Jack Daniel's single barrel proof so much. It's dark. She's dark. Man, that tastes good though. There are definitely some banana type notes on that. Lots of caramel, really rich. Age, and I might change all these. I'm going to go A through E and then E back. Proof she feels proofy. So, man, you started me off with 125. That would be very rude. You started me off with 125 proofer. That would be very rude. So I'm gonna say that's man, that's either Jack Daniel's or it feels like a Jack Daniel's. So I'm gonna say State Tennessee type bourbon, proof 125, age 8 years. Fantastic pour, whatever that is. Fantastic. Terry Runyon's in the house. What's up, dude? Cheers, man. That almost tastes like a high proof. I think I might change what that is. Sorry, guys. I'm just thinking. I do think that's Brown Foreman. It's fantastic. It's really, really good. Man, it almost... All right. I'm not going to tell you guys what I think that is yet. But I am changing. I think we're going to go Kentucky bourbon, 125 proof. Man, the crazy thing is it does feel like it has some age to it, but it I think it's older than 8 years now that I'm thinking about it. Really, really fantastic pour. I can't believe that's where the night's starting. Robert says spend less. Yeah, man, that's one of mine. It's one of mine. So some of my whiskey goals, again, like we talked about with Whiskey Tornado, I want to do 4 to 6 picks and get a lot of you guys, a lot of our Patreon members on those picks this year. We've already got 2 in the works. So we got 2 to 4 more to get narrowed down. And then to Robert's point, yeah, man, spending less is definitely going to be a thing for me this year. I've got so much bourbon, man. The problem is I run a whiskey tube channel, so man, the content is going to be a little lacking. So, all right, Robert says it might get better. Just saying. Man, I think. All right, we're going to B. Craig said, anybody concerned about the news that alcohol causes several kinds of cancer freaked me out. Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, I don't think it's anything new that, alcohol increases your risk of cancer. It definitely, I think one of the things that was coming out in that was that, alcoholic beverages definitely increase the risk of breast cancer for women. And of course, my wife doesn't drink and she got breast cancer. So, Yeah, man, it definitely freaks me out, and that's one of my goals this year. Actually, after spend less is drink less, balance whiskey and health. And I need to lose. I've lost 26 pounds since we did the dry August thing, and I want to lose about another 20 to 25 this year. If I can do that, I'll be great. But I'm in a good spot health wise. All my blood work's good. But as far as like drinking goes, I'm trying to just do, have pours on Friday and Saturday, and not a lot of them. Friday and Saturday, and then do a live stream once a month. We were doing live streams weekly, but it's one of the reasons why I don't do live streams weekly anymore is because you know I love bourbon. I love the community. It's such a good conduit for great relationships, but you got to balance that with your health. At least I do. So yeah, man, it's something to keep in mind. But I think if you can really practice moderation, exercise, eat healthy most of the time, get your blood work checked twice a year to know if your liver enzymes are out of whack and all that stuff, then should be in good shape. But then you got to look at genetics too. Even when I'm super overweight, I've been fortunate enough that I just haven't had to be on medication. So, oh my gosh, man, that's good. Man, these are all up there in proof. Jeremy said, "My bourbon goal in 2025 is to let go of the FOMO." Yeah, except our barrels for Hope Pigs for sure. Yeah, I've gotten a lot better at that, man. I've gotten so much better at that just because I have so much good bourbon, and we all do, especially after COVID, man. We have so much good bourbon that could never drink it all. So yeah, man, that's definitely let go of the FOMO. I like that. We need that on a shirt. Mm, B just tasted very familiar. B B had so Heaven Hill always has, or some Heaven Hill has this little bit of earthiness to it to me, a little bit of like a mildewy wood, but that can be overdone and that can be a fault in a lot of whiskeys. Um, B definitely tasted that Heaven Hill earthiness. It was really good. Man, let me taste it again and think about Heaven Hill and see if I think that's what it is. That's good. There's some nuttiness there, caramel. Um, I'm gonna guess. Let's go. Hmm. We'll go 124. 11 years, Bourbon, Kentucky, Heaven Hill. If I'm gonna guess, maybe Elijah Craig Barrel Proof on B. Hmm. Really good pour. Robert Shea, balancing whiskey and health is a huge one for me. Yeah, man. Got to. We got to. We don't, we're not going to be here long. So Robert said, congrats on all the weight loss. Thanks, man. Okay. He said, good shirt for sure. Say no to FOMO. I like that. I'm going to have my daughter design something for us. Man, all these smell great, Robert. Well, that again tastes like a bourbon, tastes like Kentucky. Does not taste as hot. We'll go 120, maybe. I don't know that that has the age that everything else has. Really good pour though. All these are fantastic. Robert sent me some hitters. On to D. Mm. D almost smells finished, but I don't know that it is. But there's like almost like a note that I get on the dark arts that are finished in white port. It's got a little bit of that to it. Whoa. That's for sure finished. That's got to be finished. That is a total. Maybe it's not finished. It's very grapey, which sometimes will lead me to will it. Wow, that was insanely grapey. Oh, that's beautiful. If that's not a Willet purple top, it's finished in something that's giving those like really grapey notes. All right, I'm putting. It's so. Will it sometime? If I could be way off. But will it sometimes after in a lineup of bourbons will taste finished to me? Just because it's just such a left turn. Man, that's delicious. That might just be finished. It might not be will it. Wow, is it beautiful though? Hmm. That's gonna make everything else taste so off. Robert says, "Believe in yourself, Lance." Are you saying I'm close with the will it guess? Mm. Man, man, that's good. Jeez, so there's a theme to this. I gotta figure out what this is because I'm all over the place on where I think these are distilled. Um, I mean, I think they're Kentucky bourbons. Some of them, these last two, might taste a little finished to me, but I don't know that they are. Um, but I think A is Brown Foreman, B is Heaven Hill, C might be Beam, D Willet. So I'm all over the place. D may maybe Wild Turkey. I'm so I'm so all over the place, man. Oh man, these are great pours. Oh my gosh, they're so good. So good. I think my proof meter is way off, guys. I don't think I'm going to be close on proofs. Um, Let's see. If I had to guess, if I had to say there's a theme, maybe they're all the same age, just from different distilleries. Because none of them taste young, none of them taste over oaked. They're all just perfectly balanced. Like if Robert's sending me some of his best pours, he has a great palate because all of these, like, you can't knock anything on it. They're like, none of them are drying my palate out. They're all just a perfect balance of sweet and spice. A great experience on each and every one of these. Amazing mouthfeel. I would guess that these are pretty expensive bottles if I had to guess, but they're all so well balanced and have a great experience from beginning, from front of the palate, mid palate to the finish. They're all fantastic. So if Robert enjoys all these, man, Robert, you got a great palate because I'm loving these. These are fantastic. D has or E has a nice cherry note to it. I don't know what E is. I put wild turkey, but I don't think that's wild turkey. I don't know, but I do think that's a bourbon. I do think it's Kentucky. Go back to D here. Actually, I'm going to save D for last. We're going to, because D is such an outlier from everything, and I don't want it to screw up my palate. So we're going to C. Actually, I think C. Man, I put C as wild turkey, but the proof is pretty high, and I don't know that that's wild turkey. I don't know what C is either. I think I'm gonna have to. Robert said, should have saved D for last. My bad. I recognized it a few times. I reorganized it a few times. That's interesting. So it is either finished or it's Willet. Man, the only thing I feel like I'm really certain of is that B is Heaven Hill because it has that earthy kind of mildewy wood note. And in a lot of cases, I've said this many times on the channel. We went into Brian Smith with Hard Truth took me into the Hard Truth lab, and we got to taste some faulty barrels. And that is a chemical note that is faulty. That Hard Truth they'll just toss them. They don't even try to blend it out. If it has that note, they toss it. I've had some bourbons that had so much of that note, it was disgusting. Heaven Hill has just enough of it that it makes it interesting and complex. As long as it's not overwhelming, I enjoy it. So I enjoy that on the Heaven Hill. I think I had. I'm going to change it to 12. I might just say the theme is that everything's 12 years old, and that's a guess. I don't feel confident about that. Oh my gosh, this A just smells like a caramel brown butter bomb now. A smells fantastic. A has got to be Brown Foreman. And If it's Brown Foreman, I don't think it's 12 years, probably a lot less than that. Man, that could be anything from Cooper's Craft to an Old Forester single barrel proof to, man, that could really be anything. It's really dark though. And now that I'm coming back to it, I don't know that the proof is near as high as what I thought it was. Well, I'm going to stick with Brown Foreman. I don't have a bottle guess. Most of the time, those Old Forester single barrel proofs are really, really hot to me. And this doesn't taste that hot. So I'm gonna say I'm gonna stick with 8 years, 118 proof, Bourbon, Kentucky, Brown Foreman. I don't have a bottle guess on that. B, I'm gonna say 12 years, 124 proof, Bourbon, Kentucky, Heaven Hill, maybe an Elijah Craig barrel proof. Let me taste C again. We're almost to the end, to the reveal, guys. Wow. C almost has like a dusty note to it. Tastes like a dusty. It's got this almost like medicinal cherry to it. The thing that's throwing me is I don't think the proof is as low as a dusty would be. So I'm gonna say Wild Turkey, 110 proof, 10 years, Bourbon, Kentucky on that. D, I'm gonna stick with Kentucky Willet. We'll go 128 proof on that, 12 years. I think that might just be something that's finished in some type of cognac or, man, it is wild. It is finished in something crazy if it's not Willet. And then E, one more time. Let's taste E. I don't know what E is. I don't even have a distillery guess on E. But we'll go. I mean, that could be finished too. Tastes a little different, but we'll go 12 years, 120 proof, Bourbon, Kentucky. I'm gonna have to lock in the guesses, guys. I'm gonna have to lock in the guesses. Yes. Robert, give me a hint on the theme because I don't think it's the same. I don't think it's all the same age. I don't think it's the same distillery. I really don't know what the theme could be because we are all over the place on my guesses. Oh, no joke. Different distilleries, NDPs. Same proof range. Okay. Well, I thought they kind of tasted the same proof. But yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so very interesting. So I was right that they're all different distilleries. Now we'll see if I've got the distilleries correct. So if that's the case, I do think D is like Willet juice. And D might be. All right. Now that I know that, I'm going to guess D is I think it's Willet juice, and I'm going to say it's from NBC. Because I think NBC did some Willet picks. It's NBC or Hirsch. Hirsch did some single barrels from there. Now A, let me think about A here. So If I think A is Brown Foreman, we'll say A is Michter's, but I don't know. I don't know. B, I'm sticking with Heaven Hill. I really think that's what that is. E is the one that's throwing me off. E tastes grapey too, man. But you said different distilleries. I could see E being a Willet juice also. And again, I thought D and E tasted almost finished compared to the rest of the stuff in the flight. I'm going to say the proof range on these is 124 to, and I could be so far off on this. We'll go 122 to 128 on the proof. I might be off on those. E tastes so fruity. We'll go. I don't know. This might. I'm just throwing out a guess. I'm just gonna go Bowman, A. Smith Bowman for E, but I really have no idea what that is. All right, let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got. Oh, that gave it away. now it's all right. I'll change my answer to 4 Roses on E as the distillate. So let's see what we got here. All right. All right. Okay. Well, all right. For A, I said age was 8 years. I don't think we know the age. I said 118 proof. It's 118.4 proof. I said bourbon. I said Kentucky. And I initially said Brown Foreman. And it is Woodford Batch Proof, the 2022 release, 118.4 proof. Wow. So yeah, I could taste that was Brown Foreman. It really, those kind of banana notes stood out to me. I didn't think it was an Old Forester single barrel proof because those are usually hotter and kick me around the room a little bit. But I was picking up the Woodford almost double oaked. It almost tastes like a Woodford double oaked at a higher proof. Really, really great pour right there. That was good. Jay Sells Boston. Cheers, man. I don't think I've ever seen you in the chat, so welcome. Robert Shea, boom. Yeah. I mean, I hedged my bets a little bit, but I'd say that was pretty good. All right. Going on to B. B is 8 years. I said 12, so I did not get that. I said 124 proof, and it was 118.86. So I'm not going to give myself anything on that. It is bourbon. It is Kentucky. It is Kentucky sourced. This is a Nashville Barrel Company party source pick. Interesting. So do you know, Robert, do you know where it's sourced from or where it's rumored to be sourced from? It's gotta be Heaven Hill. It's gotta be. That's the one I was most sure about was Heaven Hill. and it tastes it with that like earthiness. So so I did okay there, but I was a little close, but not crazy. All right. C was, I said 110 proof. It was 115 proof. So I was within 5. I said bourbon. I said Kentucky. Both of those are true. I said wild turkey and that it tasted dusty. And the reason for that is it is Bardstown Bourbon Company Discovery 4. So I think, Robert, correct me if I'm wrong, that Discovery 4 has some wild turkey in it. That's so good. That is so good, man. I said that it tasted dusty, like a dusty wild turkey after, we went back through and I started narrowing it down and getting my palate more focused. And yeah, man, that tastes like a dusty turkey. And I haven't had Discovery 4 in a couple months, but I think Discovery, I can't remember if I like 3 or 4 better. I used to have them both, but I think I liked 4 better, but man, they're both so good. Robert said not sure, was thinking Jim Beam. I've never had Jim Beam that has that that funky mildewy wood note, but I've had a lot of Heaven Hill that does. Robert said boom. Yes, sir. So what percentage of that blend is wild turkey, Robert? Because man, the wild turkey was coming through for me. It didn't initially, but going back through, I think initially I said beam. And is there any beam in there? Because initially I said beam because I was picking up on a little bit of nuttiness, but that might be from MGP. I think 4 had a lot of MGP in it. But I was definitely picking up the wild turkey on there. So, all right. D. D is I was way off on proof. I said 128 proof. It was 117 proof. I was way off on age. I said 12 years and it's 6 years. 6 years, 6 months. But I did nail that it's bourbon, Kentucky, and that it's Willet juice. This is a Old Kirk single barrel, and I have some of these. And oh my gosh, man, God, those Old Kirks, the Hirsch Willets. It's basically Willet purple top juice, at a fifth or sixth of the cost. Oh, it's so good. It is. Man, that is a fantastic single barrel. That's probably my favorite thing in the flight. Not probably, it is my favorite thing in the flight. That is really, really good, man. Robert said, my first Old Kirk was from your advent calendar from last year, and I've seeked it out a few since then. Nice. Nice. Yeah, they're so good. But man, when you have them in a blind with other bourbons, and they first hit your palate, it just all you can think of is, man, that's finished. But I've kind of trained my brain that when I feel like it's finished to try to determine whether that's a grape note that I'm getting, and then if I'm getting a grape note, I can narrow it down to it's probably Willet, some type of Willet product. At least for my palate, that's what it comes off as, and that screamed that. So I did pretty good there, nailing that was Willet. All right, E. I said 12 years. It's 9 years, 8 months. So I did not get that. I said 120 proof, and it was 116 proof. So that's pretty close. 4 points off. It is bourbon. It is Kentucky. And it is 4 roses, but I won't give myself that. I only got 4 roses after Robert helped me get through that. It's an OBSO, and it is really, really good, man. Really good. OBSO. That's really good, man. maybe one of the better Four Roses picks I've had. And that's saying a lot because I've had a lot of them, but that is a great Four Roses pick. Robert, dude, man, this was an amazing flight. Thank you so much for sending this in. You got a great palate, dude. You sent these in. They're all so balanced. I loved every one of these pours tonight. Kind of, I mean, I don't want to sound like a narcissist and pat myself on the back too much, but I narrowed some of these down. I think, you know, I definitely got Brown Foreman. I'm betting that B is Heaven Hill. C with Wild Turkey was in there. D with Willet. I got that. The only one that was really stumping me was E, and I could not get that down. But Robert says, cheers, bro. Happy New Year. You did great. I'm glad I didn't totally embarrass myself tonight. It's always, you never know when you do these blinds, especially if you haven't been, you know, tasting through bourbon a lot. So that was fun, man. That was really, really a good time. So I think probably the next live stream we'll do is, let me see here. Next live stream probably be February 20th. That's what I have marked because we're going to Hawaii the next week, the week after that. It's for my 25th wedding year anniversary. So, yeah, we'll probably do next live stream on the 20th. I do have a lot. Hard Truth sent me a ton of new releases. We might try those. If any Patreon members want to send me another blind like Robert did, feel free. Just send me a message on Patreon or email me at thewhiskeytornado@gmail.com, and I'll tell you where to send it. This was a great flight, man. I had a lot of fun. Terry said, what was the theme? So the theme was different distilleries in non-distilling producers. So it was a blast, man. Trey Ryan, what's up, Trey? No, not 25th birthday, man. Look at all this gray. 25th anniversary, wedding anniversary. So last time we planned a big trip like this, the pandemic happened. So hopefully nothing happens in the next month. Robert said this was so much fun and you truly did great. Roughly same proof. Yeah. Oh yeah. And roughly the same proof. That's right. Terry said, congrats. Thanks, man. Thanks for all you guys for tuning in, man. It was a wonderful night. It was great to be back on. Glad we had a lot of people tuning in tonight. It was a lot of fun. We'll pick this up. And if you're not following us on Instagram, do that, or Facebook. We have a Facebook page also. It's not a private one. It's a public one. And then of course our Patreon page. So cheers, everybody. Robert, thanks so much. I love you guys, and we'll talk to you all soon.